What's up everybody, how's it going? It's Burke aka Dansg08 here, and this is another one of those special anniversary videos on the channel. It's always a pleasure to do these, and this one is another big milestone. The 24/7 live stream on the channel has made it to 2 years running non-stop, and that's something that I'm super proud of. And of course I wanted to first take the time to thank everybody, everyone that's been watching, everyone that's been in the chat, everyone that's kindly donated. All of you guys continue to make this possible, and you are the reason why the stream continues to live on today. I hope you continue to enjoy it. I hope we can stream for many years to come, because it's just been such a great time and it's still one of the best things that I've ever done on the channel. In order to celebrate this year, I want to draw particular attention to and to collaborate with my good friends now that were once just moderators of the stream, just followers of the channel that I didn't really know, but now they've all become good friends of mine, and it was my pleasure to work with them on this. So what we did was to record a modcast. So 12 out of 15 of us as a whole team were there live. We decided to just sit down and have a chat, have some fun, talk about the stream, some of our best memories, how it all came together, and all of that good stuff. So that's what I wanted to do for this year, and I just want to thank my moderators so much. I always say it, but I think it's always worth repeating that this stream, of course, is great to have like a certain number of people watching. It generates revenue for the channel, it helps to expose other videos, all of that kind of stuff that really only kind of benefits me. But what I've always loved about the stream, and why I truly, like in my heart, feel like it's been a good project, is because there's been so many people that's come to the stream, that's had a good time, we've built a community there, people have made friends, I've made lots of new friends, and in that sense it's just been such a beautiful thing for the channel. And even though I don't get to do that much collaborative content, which is something I'm working on, in terms of just like collaborating with other people, communicating with other people, this project has just been so amazing, and it just continues to blow me away with all of the great people that I've met on it during these last 2 years. So for this modcast, we were missing 3 people. We were missing Dream Squeeze, we're missing Tanya, aka S-Rock-T, and we were also missing Tom Berrin. So it would have been lovely to have all of them, but of course we're spread across 14 hours of time zone, so all the way from the west coast of the US to Vietnam. So getting everyone together at the same time, avoiding technical difficulties and all that stuff to get like a 2-3 hour thing like recorded was extremely difficult. But we did our best, we had a really good time, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So without much further ado, enjoy the modcast, my friends, and here's to many more years on the Spirit Unplugged 24/7 Final Fantasy stream. Okay, so I'll start with Art. So basically, I think just say like what your name in the stream is, just so that people can recognize you, and just like where you're from and like what you do. Just like a simple, maybe like 10-20 second intro, and we'll do that for each person just so we have everyone introduced. Is that cool?
My YouTube username is Artemis2D, currently a moderator, and I'm working as an instructor, English instructor, at a language center, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
Hey guys, I'm Table.
Table.
Nah, I'm playing. Alright, I'm Josh. Most of you probably know me as Indubitable Wordsmith on stream. I'm going to school for computer science right now to get my bachelor's. I'm from Louisiana.
Hey guys, it's Erica. You guys know me as Maester Erica on the stream, and I am from Pennsylvania in the United States. I am currently an administrative assistant for a cybersecurity law firm, and yeah, I think that's everything.
Hi guys, it's Laura. You know me as Laura on the stream. I come from East Yorkshire in the UK, and I'm a mobilising officer for one of the fire and rescue services there.
Hi guys, it's Ammo here, also known as the guy with the boot for profile picture, and I'm currently studying in between my 2 degrees, between my bachelor's and my master's in maths and physics.
Hey everyone, this is Jeanette. I'm more known as J5 Norway on stream. I currently work as a veterinary nurse at Animal Hospital.
Hey, it's Real Deal. I'm from Philly. I work as a security engineer, and I am the resident Albed technician for the stream.
Hello, this is Yasu Leon. I'm from the US, and right now I'm working on an associate's in cybersecurity.
Hey guys, I'm John. You guys know me as Psych. I'm from Malta, and I'm currently studying architecture for the past 6 years, and that's been my life, basically.
Hey guys, my name is Selena. You guys know me by the same name on the stream. I'm from good old Canada, and I work as an industrial designer at a consultancy over in Toronto.
This is Zachary G. Work as a web developer and IT technician here in California.
Okay, awesome. So when you guys are ready, you can unmute your mics now. We can go into the actual Modcast part of it.
Thank goodness.
Freedom.
Oh, I can breathe.
Way to go now.
There we go.
That was like prison.
Yeah, it was
I
weird.
didn't like being quiet. It was like being back at school.
I couldn't make any witty quips. It was awful.
Unleash the floodgates now.
All right, Table. Hey guys, my name's Table.
I was laughing, but I remained muted.
You better keep that intro. The hey guys, I'm Table intro.
All right, so we can finally kick things off. So I think one of the first things that we should probably discuss is the earliest days of the stream. And obviously everyone here was once just someone who maybe followed the channel or was just a member of the chat in the stream. And how did you guys make the transition into becoming a moderator? What motivated you to join this whole thing and want to be a part of this community?
Yeah, it was kind of a new experience for me. I was always a YouTube viewer until Burke announced he was going to launch a Final Fantasy live stream. I was stoked about that. So I registered for a slot as a moderator, and here I am right now.
Art was saying he signed up to be a mod for the stream. I completely forgot that there was a period of time where you were just asking people to voluntarily come on to be a moderator.
Yeah, I think Art's situation was a bit unique because I seem to remember, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Art was a moderator before the stream actually happened.
You did mention that.
Yeah, that's true. I did mention that.
Yeah, so I think maybe a year before the stream started, I made a call on Twitter for anyone that was interested to moderate for the channel, and that's when actually Art signed up. So his moderatorhood predates the stream.
Oof.
Yeah, he's an OG.
Can't say that.
Yeah, when it was unlisted on YouTube.
He is the only remaining OG, right?
The only?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
In Spear Unplugged, he's the only one, I think.
Yes, that's right.
I started when Burke did his first live stream. I think when he hit 10 years, and he had asked in chat who wanted to be a moderator, and I was there. And I was like, ooh, me. And that was it. It's been history ever since. Maester Erica lived then.
Long live Maester Erica.
Praise be to Evan.
God bless.
When they make a Marvel superhero movie, this will be your origin story. It'll be a sick hour and a half.
I'll go real quick. Alright. So for me, I saw the stream in my sub box a few times, over the course of the first day or two. I had never clicked on it, but then I eventually did. And I remember I was chatting in there for 2 days, and you, Burke, pretty much singled me out and were like, yo, you want a mod for me? And I'm like, okay, sure. That actually sounds kind of fun. And so my motivation was just wow, volunteering and helping out with this really sounds cool. And I don't know, it kind of made me feel a little important in a way, getting to be a part of something that felt big to me, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Even though it's just a little stream, but it still felt big. It still feels big.
Yeah.
It's a big part of my life.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's been 2 years now. Yeah.
So I became a mod in the early days of the 24/7 stream when it was just Final Fantasy X looping over, and I sort of stumbled upon it being in my inbox since I was subscribed to Burke from his Final Fantasy X playthrough, which is one of my favorite games. I just got into the stream by just having it on in the background while I was studying because I was in university at the time. So it was just kind of therapeutic to have it on in the background while I was doing my studies, and I occasionally popped into the chat here and there. So I just became a familiar face, and then next thing you know, I've got a wrench next to my name, and I'm like, okay, I can do this.
I mean, I remember you advertising it on your Facebook, I think, Beck, before you started it, because I never followed you on Twitter. I followed you on Facebook. I think I was one of the few
Yes.
people that did.
On Facebook.
And I remember you putting out that you're going to be doing this live stream thing, and I was there from the very start, but I never went in the chat because I was too shy. Believe it or not.
We all start somewhere.
Shock. Never heard of it, Laura.
So, like, I have no social media whatsoever except YouTube. So I just saw the stream pop up, and it was like, hey, look, I'm suddenly doing this. And I was like, oh, cool. It's popping up. So it started out as a Final Fantasy X stream alone. And so I went in there because I found this channel through a Final Fantasy X walkthrough, through the Final Fantasy X walkthrough. I think I found it before the entire thing had actually been finished. Like he was starting the post game right when I joined the thing. And so I was like, yes, I like Final Fantasy X. And so I joined in the chat, and then I saw other people were becoming moderators, and I'm like, I want to become a moderator. But I was so shy. And so who was it? I asked someone, hey, can I be a moderator? And then they were like, yeah, sure, come on.
Fun.
That's great.
Yeah, it's awesome, actually.
I never expected to be made into a mod. I mean, I remember just when I eventually did start chatting in the live chat, I think you'd been going for a couple of weeks, and I finally decided to speak to people. And, and I never expected it. It was such a shock when you were like, do you fancy being a mod? And, okay. Especially after a few choice comments.
Yeah, Laura was one of. You were modded with Theory's Dust Aaron, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we both went at the same time, yeah.
Was it a month? Or no, it was 2 months in, right after Aaron won Viewer of the Month, right? I think so.
Yeah, I think it was it August?
Yeah, it was the second month.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a shock, but I love doing it. It's like Josh said, it's a big part of my life. And I wouldn't want to stop doing it because it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had the same experience where I didn't expect to become a mod. I thought I just kind of like ingrained myself as like an annoying presence that was probably always going to be in the stream chat at some point.
I'm just the eternal lurker, because sometimes I'm watching the chat and I'm just like, something popped up because I'm doing something else, but I have the stream going in the background, and so I have it in a little tab on the side. So just that whenever an alert pops up, I'm just like, okay, hide it.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll just be moderating at night, and then like I see a comment and I'm like, oh, that needs to go, and I'll go to delete it, and then it's just like, oh, this was deleted by Yasuo Leon now. I'm like, oh wow, Skype. Didn't know you were here.
It's like, hello, I'm lurking, I'm working here, and I can't talk to you because I'm working.
It's kind of funny. I thought I was going to be lurking in the chat a lot more than I actually ended up lurking, just because whenever people like type in the chat, I always get the sudden urge to be like, oh, I kind of want to reply to them now.
Yeah, it's addicting.
It's the eternal debate between whether you should keep talking or you should stop.
I know. Oh.
Yeah, it's since it's like 24/7. My experience was, I think I knew Berk mainly from Twitter initially, so I probably saw the announcement of the stream from there. I think I was like super early moderated. I think very first or second day. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I was very active before. Right now, I'm super busy, so.
You were one of the most active mods at the start.
Yeah, I used to know life on. I mean, I'll get into it again, but I have to get rid of these 2 months and then I'll be fine.
Who needs a degree? Masters, rubbish.
Yeah, fuck my masters.
Rubbish.
Wait, should you bleep? Never mind.
What's your language like?
Yeah.
Beep.
So I want to hear from Zach as well, because Zach was someone who I saw a lot in the stream, and I thought this guy would be a good moderator. But he specifically told me that like he might not be able to do it because of his Zach has 3 kids, he's got a family, he's a busy guy. But I kind of insisted. I was like, it'd be really nice if you still came on board anyway. So it'd be nice to hear from Zach about like his becoming a mod as well.
That was actually a big day for me, or not a big day, but a big time for me. I had been following.
Shit,
I thought it was huge.
I'd followed Burke around only through YouTube, watching channels, watching videos, because I enjoyed Final Fantasy X. When I first came across one of Burke's videos, I forget what it was even for, probably Celestial Weapons or something. But I was like, I kind of like this guy's stuff, so I actually went back and started watching from part 1. And so I watched the stream, I think before it was even a stream, just having kind of a playlist. And I think it was because there were so many videos that I had watched at Burke's, I eventually got the recommendation for the stream. I was like, I've never even been to a live stream or whatever. So I just kind of pop in and hanging out and whatever. And yeah, it was for me, I didn't really want to be a mod. I didn't really know what it entailed, but I did want to help because I enjoyed the channel. I forget who it was I was talking to at this point, but I was like, hey, if you guys need anything, I'd be willing to help out any way that I can. And somebody mentioned, being a mod. And it's like, well, I'd love to, but, like I said, I don't think I'd make a very good mod. And even participation levels, were going to be low. But, thankfully, everybody kind of saw past that and let me hang out. And I appreciate that because for the stream has been a big part of my life for the last 2 years. Kind of off and on, for me being able to participate. But, having you guys to be able to talk to. And anytime I show up, everybody's always cool. I don't think we've ever had any kind of negativity or anything. So I know that whenever I need something, I've got you guys to go talk to. And that's the biggest part for me. But now the stream has grown so much, it's crazy. So many games. And I think even though, it is only Final Fantasy related, there's so much of it, like you can pop in anytime and be watching a different part of a different game. And like, for instance, I never played 13. So seeing some of the content on that's kind of cool. Parts of games that I've never been able to touch. So I enjoy having it on in the background. And just, I think it was Ammo or somebody was just saying, you go to, you'll see a word or you see a sentence that says it needs to be moderated in the chat. You go to hit it. And of course, if somebody is already on it, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you guys are awesome. That's for sure. In any case, that's been my experience, and it's been a blessing for me. I'm very proud to be part of it.
When it comes to this topic, I think it'd be fun to hear from Real Deal as well, because him and Jeanette and Selena, you guys came into it much later, so you were a part of the stream community as a viewer for quite a long time. So what was that like? I mean, you guys must have really not anticipated that you'd become mods someday.
Yeah, it's I think I definitely missed the boat at first.
Yeah, where were you, Rel?
I think when I do remember when this stream launched, I was super busy with work and just didn't have any access to YouTube and stuff during the day. And I saw it when I got home, and I would pop on for a few hours, but I wasn't really that active. And then I think it was around the new year, 2019. I started working from home more often, and so I was able to go on and check out the channel and stuff, and see the stream and be a little bit more active. And I think I was on pretty much all the time, like even during work and after work and just throughout the day and stuff. I would be lying if I said I didn't want to become moderator during that time, but I was kind of jealous of you guys. You guys had all the power. And I was may or may not have been trying to do an uprising against the mods at some point.
I do remember that, yes.
Oh, I remember that.
I was just about to say it. You went from an anarchist to like one of us.
I think that was Burke's way to stop the anarchy from rising.
We had to indoctrinate you.
If you can't beat them.
Started your own Discord channel and everything, I remember.
Oh yeah, I tried. I did.
We remember.
Yes. We never forget.
But and then I became friends with Erica and stuff, and that was pretty cool. And then I got just talking with her and became good friends, and then Burke asked me a little bit later after that, and I was like, finally, yes. And then it was really cool. And it's still just has its challenges, but it's a really cool position to be.
I think at one point I told Burke, "Hey, you need to check out this guy IRL too," in a private message. We had been talking a little bit, and I was like, "I think you could find some interest with this guy."
I remember towards the beginning, I even asked if Burke was on the chat one day, and I was like, Burke, how does this work? Because I do some software stuff, and I'm just kind of interested. And you're like, nope, it's a secret. And, and I was like, oh, okay, I can respect that. And then now I've rewritten the whole thing. We had to like reverse engineer this whole thing.
Now you have the secret.
Oh,
Yeah,
how
no,
the
I'm the
turns
secret
table.
holder.
Yeah, this is his plan.
Oh, how the turntables.
It's still a secret.
Yeah, he's not here.
It's just
I don't know how to do it.
it's just a secret that you and it's just a secret that you and Real share now.
Well, I mean, I guess now the real deal is the guy who is in charge of like the program. I guess that it's his call now whether he wants to share it or not.
Oh damn!
I mean,
Exposed.
we can. Really, it's just the program. It just downloads the next few number of episodes and then uses some other.
Wait,
programs.
dude, you weren't actually supposed to tell people. That was just that was just a bit.
He's just trying not to
Editing that out.
The illusion is shattered.
Yeah.
Real is committed to the bit.
Who knows if that was even the truth?
Exactly. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's still things that we're trying to work on. There's still like tweaks and like little things that we want to do to try and make it even better. So hopefully we'll get to do those in the future as well. We're close.
Yeah. So if anybody has any suggestions, let me know.
Yeah. Can you shove more information onto that overlay? Because I'm really not understanding anything on there.
Yeah, we're having some trouble.
Literally, as we were like testing all this stuff a little bit ago, I was actually making some updates to it myself and trying to test them out. So it's actively being worked on.
While eating a donut.
Yes.
You want to give some kind of teaser to the updates to our viewers?
It'll be much easier to see where we are in the stream. I'll say that.
Suspense, tension.
Yeah, and people aren't going to have to wonder anymore if the X2 means that it's double speed.
Yeah.
Oh, that one is the best.
Probably one of my favorite questions.
That's my favorite question. One of my favorite.
I have never gotten
Yeah.
that question. I was confused at first when people kept saying that. And I was like, where's the X2 again? Are we talking about 10 to... Oh, there it is up there.
So what you're telling us is that it will be playing at ×2 speed the next time we ask, right?
Yeah, I'll put an option to speed it up.
Or make the screen twice as big. Yeah.
Twice as fast.
Double zoom.
Just zoom in on the main character's face. Go ahead.
I think for this thing we haven't heard from Jeanette. If you want to tell us your story becoming a mod as well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I was just a regular member in the chat basically for the first year. I started following, just lurking on the stream for the first month, I think it was. I didn't start chatting until in the very late days of the only 10 live stream. But after that, once I first got in, I kind of never left in a way. So
Absorbed.
Yeah, pretty much. Absorbed into time.
Oh god.
Nice.
But yeah, I never expected to become a mod either, and it wasn't really anything I thought about either. So when I was asked a year ago, I was like, shit, pressure is on.
Too much pressure,
But
man.
yeah, I can't cope. But
Can't cope.
yeah, everything changed. But no, it's just me. I used to be on pretty much all the time. I could basically due to uni, I was working and studying at home very much. So the channel and the stream sort of became a study buddy. So I had it all on the time, and
Nice.
I was probably more on than I should be. But the SMs went okay anyway. So, but now after I was asked to be a mod, then I could help the chat in a different way than I already was. So yeah, it's been good. I'm really, really enjoying it. Never going away from now on either.
Yeah, you can't get rid of anyone after they're on here.
We're stuck with you forever.
We're glued
You
to
let
each
us
other.
in, you can't let us out.
Absolutely. Don't want you either. Oh.
We're stuck in Burke's basement. Just wanted to tell everyone.
It's dingy.
We're chained.
We've got siphoned lines from his. We've got siphoned lines of the IV like coming off to us now.
Don't we also have to feed Burke and make sure he stays awake because he's always streaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not easy doing this, you know.
At least we're safe from coronavirus, guys.
I mean, the fact that we've done it for 2 years is really impressive. Keeping this man fed.
It's just funny that I still cannot believe that I get people asking me about that. It's just I think they must be joking, surely, but people are just sincerely asking, like, how have you been doing this for 2 years, 24/7? What do you?
We have to keep repeating it's pre-recorded footage every single time.
No, Burke is just a machine that we've all invented.
It's just AI.
We're all born to sustain it.
I just want to tell people it's part of like.
Burke is a machine life form.
I just want to tell people it's part of like an experiment done by the government to see how long you can last.
Jesus. Grief.
Maybe Burke is God, and this is our new religion.
Whoa,
He really is a cult leader.
Oh, we did indoctrinate Rail.
No comment.
I was actually gonna.
That no comment is comment enough, Burke.
Yeah, he's being exposed, Erica.
We see you.
Dansg08 exposed.
Not clickbait. Not clickbait.
Not clickbait.
It's the clickbait that I've always wanted.
Oh wait, my bad. Dansg08.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, is that you, Dan? Dan, how long have you been doing this for?
That's one thing that you guys have got to see is literally over the years I've gotten endless variations of Dansg08.
Yeah.
But you guys actually get to see it firsthand now, all the different
we
ways
love
in which it's
Dag
written.
9.
I think, do we have like a compilated list somewhere?
We should actually.
We
There's
should.
there's
Yeah, we
so many
should.
variations.
One, yeah.
It's funny, actually, I didn't tell you guys, but I recorded the first podcast with P. Birdman, and he sent me a file of his audio recording, and he named the file Dansg08 as well. I was like, not you as well. So even
That's
he's
great.
Betrayed by your own kind.
The utter
Yeah, it's-
disrespect.
done it. Seriously.
After all you've done.
I guess like one common theme that I've noticed from what people have been saying is that obviously one of the main things behind this was I wanted to obviously use Final Fantasy X as like the first test to do this, and because a lot of you guys had seen the Final Fantasy X content as well, it seemed like it was the series, like the content that drew you in. Maybe if I went like, you know, for a different game or like a different setup from the start, maybe it wouldn't have caught as much attention. Maybe.
Yeah, probably not.
Nah.
Like, specifically, it was Final Fantasy X that did it.
I know that during the beginning, when it was just Final Fantasy X over and over, it was only like 36 hours, so it was like a little over a day. So basically, I just went to sleep, and then the next time I came in, we had started the next round of it. And so it got a bit disorienting at times.
You'd always like come in at about the same time, and it's like you never left.
Yeah. It really was a whirlwind at the beginning. Just everything went so fast.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah.
We still have some people, very few people, who prefer consistent Final Fantasy X.
That's true.
It's not
yeah.
as mentioned now because it's been 2 years now, but yeah.
And then there are people who are who come into the chat and are like, why does Final Fantasy X play so much?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to explain that one because I feel like the explanation is long.
Yeah.
We should just start paying like because it is.
Whenever I get that, I just tell them it's it's like his only he like platinums it. He does 100% of this game and nothing else.
It's his baby.
I
All
should
they
just
have to do is
shorten
look
my
at it.
answers to that question to just be like, cause I like it.
Yeah, if they look at his display picture, it's enough.
I think I said to someone the other day it was because it's Burke's first love.
I was like, maybe that's not his only love in life, but yeah, it's his first
It's
love.
his firstborn child.
Yeah.
I think your Twitter bio is like half my body is Final Fantasy X, right?
Yeah. I stole that from Hideo Kojima. Actually, his profile for a long time was like, "My body is 70% movies," and I thought I'd take that.
I thought you were gonna say my body is 100% Hideo Kojima.
I am Hideo Kojima. Ta-da!
It's like 5% Hideo Kojima, 25% Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, I think on my tombstone, I'm gonna have like, I don't know, inspired by Hideo Kojima, just so he gets his credits on there as well. Okay, I think obviously we talked about like the whole becoming a moderator and the stream and like the channel and all that stuff, but I think one of the craziest things obviously came out of this whole thing was the fact that we formed this like Spirit Unplugged, like weird like misfit family thing, and 2 years later we're all here now, we've all become friends. Like that's obviously something I had no idea would happen when I started this whole stream. So obviously that whole thing I think is something we should talk about as well, like how we became this group and like what our expectations were before it versus what they are now and that kind of thing.
Yeah, when I joined the group, I thought it would be pretty serious, and we would just keep it on like a like just focused on the channel. But we just quickly kind of mellowed out and just became a group of like a ragtag bunch of friends, really, and everyone's got their differences, but we're all just friends at the end of the day, and that's all it is. That's all it's become. And I think that it just makes the whole dynamic of our team just work so much better, especially with just working in the chat as well.
Yeah, I think we started with the Discord channel. I remember setting it up with you and Freya, if she's listening to us right now.
Yeah.
Freya.
A blast from the past.
Shout out to Freya. And then it started from there, I guess. And then we got to know each other. We got closer eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I never forget. For me, it's like a milestone comment where I said like, "Let's try and keep this Discord mainly business only."
Yeah, I remember.
Like, I'll never forget that.
That lasted an hour.
Yeah, because I remember during the summer months when I joined, at some point, like it got really really quickly. We started. When was that one day that we all start sending in our arms because of Spartan?
Oh, I remember that. Yes, we all sent our biceps.
Yes. I think that was like maybe a month or two in, something like that.
That's so good.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
That's so
But
cool.
that summer, would like you guys say, was just an absolute whirlwind. I remember I was literally like on my phone or laptop the entire day, and I'd leave the Discord for like 2 hours, and I'd come back and they'd be like, 800 messages, or something like that. It was just insane.
Yeah, because before the stream, I didn't have big Discord channels. Like my friends, they just randomly spend like 5 days of silence, and then they have one comment, and then it takes them another week in order to answer. And so this was the like most frequent chat channel on Discord, and I was like, should I mute it? But then I'm going to miss half of the conversations.
Yeah, exactly. It was just so fast at the start, especially. It was just madness. So Art, what was it like for you to like become integrated and meet all these like different moderators from around the world? What was that experience like?
I think I don't know how to say this. Like it just happens very naturally.
I think for me it was like it started off with obviously a lot of like everyone who's a moderator. Not everyone's like names were known. Not everyone had a profile picture of themselves. So a lot of it was quite anonymous. And obviously for me, like it was important to know who my moderators were as well. And obviously it started with that kind of thing. So after some point, regardless of how like business you want to keep it, you have to know who you're basically working with. So I think over time we had to obviously reveal more about ourselves. And obviously that just started off this whole like avalanche of just people sharing like pictures and like, you know, who they are, what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. And it just went from there.
Like hat pictures.
Hat pics.
Being able to chat with us on Discord so often helped very well, like, flesh out the picture of who everybody was, even though you couldn't really see, like, our chat interacting with our faces or anything like that, even if you couldn't put, like, a face to a name.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of activity, like I said, it really surprised me. And to this day, I can't remember a single day where it's been 2 years now. I can't remember a day where there was less than like, I don't know, 50, 100 messages on the Discord. It's literally every single day there's talk every day. It's crazy.
Good morning.
Our mornings, yeah.
Everybody says morning in the morning, and then they have the little snuggle emoji, which I find adorable.
Yeah.
So it's just like, morning, I am really exhausted. First thing I thought to do was tell you all that I'm awake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like you've had different iterations of this Discord chat, for this stream, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know when, because I joined so late with Janet and Real, like, I think this was like, what? Is it the third iteration of this Discord?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This is Mark 3.
Is it kind of the same for all of them, or do you find that they're different?
To be honest, I think it's the same. For me, the decision to have a new one was more because I didn't want people to have access to everything that was said before they arrived. Not specifically because we talked about them, but
shit.
but it's just like it felt kind of private, so I didn't want people to have access to something.
That's true. I find it really odd that Discord manages to save all of the, like, literally all past conversations. Like, why is it willing to do that? That's so much information.
It's true.
It's weird.
It's crazy.
I find it weird.
That's a good point that you just made, with having to change, or not having to, but by changing servers, because there was so much that, not that was necessarily negative or bad, but what I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I didn't spend any time in Discord or anything prior to becoming a mod and hanging out with everybody. And like we were saying, it was just kind of a natural progression of, what's your name? Oh, Zach or whatever. And those conversations really evolved into, rather personal, deep conversations. If you could go back and see some of this stuff in the past, you see that, we've shared a lot with each other. And, I think that once we ran out of technical things to talk about or, business related stuff, it naturally just transformed into a more personal connection. And I think that's been probably the reason for, or one of the reasons for the success of the moderator team, staying for so long, is that, we've all gotten to know each other so well, or at least relatively well. And Absolutely. It seems like we all get along. There's age differences between us, there's locations between us, there's lifestyles differences between us, the beliefs and whatever else you could think of, races, religions, colors, creeds. Mm-hmm. But it kind of reminds me of, the beginning of an Assassin's Creed game. It says, this game is developed by a multi-language, multinational team of different people, but it all comes together to create something that's really unique and really great.
An Assassin's game.
Yeah.
We are the stream assassins.
There you go.
With the band
Spira
hammers.
Unplugged, Assassin's Creed. But that was I didn't really know what to expect, and I think it's just been a natural progression. Like, if you're in a room long enough with somebody, you're eventually, well, at least I will. I'm pretty outgoing, and I think everybody else, we have broken out of shells. You're going to start talking to them, and that's been my experience, and that's what I find the probably the most rewarding is the people. Even when we're in the stream chat, and we're all hanging out there, you'll see that it's a lot of blue text. Because we're all just chatting. And somebody to jump in and ask that random question, oh, is this live? And then we'll immediately, somebody invites that person in to start talking to. Somebody we've only seen one time, we'll start BSing with. J85 Norway. I remember when I first saw the screen, we started talking, just, hey, how you doing? And noticing more frequently that people are coming. I think, me and Jeanette, we would join in at the same time, it seemed like. It seemed like every time I would jump in, I would see J85 Norway also. So, just a natural progression of somebody who wasn't even a mod, but just kind of came in and we all started talking. I think the live chat in the stream is kind of an extension of what you see in the Discord too. Is a lot of good conversation, a lot of good people. That's been my observation.
Yeah, I gotta say, the Discord chat helped it helped chatting in the stream become it felt more comfortable for me that I had a backup to just, especially when I was first moderating. It was really nice to be able to refer to the back door where I could ask people for advice, especially when I first started moderating, right?
in that like first like month or two where everyone was like figuring out and everyone was in that phase where we weren't really sure, like it was just nonstop referral back to the Discord, like, what do we do, guys? Like, this is new, we haven't seen this before.
And then all the times that the stream went down when we were just in the middle of the night, we're like, somebody contact somebody else.
Somebody wake up.
Abort, everyone is
That first summer, like when I first started up, again, as people who know the stream story would know, I mean, because I just didn't really think too far ahead. I probably should have thought further ahead than I did, but because I wasn't even sure it would get off the ground, I didn't really have a plan beyond like the first couple of weeks. And then once it looked like it was actually going to survive, I was like, well, I kind of can't stop now because I've already started to create something. But it really wasn't ready to be this like 24/7 permanent stream. So like that summer was just like, you know, just constantly chatting with you guys, and then the stream going down and like trying to fix that and trying to come up with rules, because obviously I've never had my own kind of chat room, as it were. So I didn't know what the rules were either, to be honest. So I had to kind of figure that out on the fly, see what was going to work, what wasn't, and all that stuff. So it was really like a journey of discovery, and we all kind of just made it up as we went along and managed to find something that, well, at least I think has worked pretty well.
I think too, to kind of add on to that is, you know, in this journey of being a part of the mod hood is, you know, when something happens, like a troll comes in or something along those lines, and like it's difficult to handle something on your own, and I've had situations like this, I'll like at everyone in Discord and be like, can somebody come back me up here, because like things are getting crazy. And I think that that's super helpful, just to have, you know, a group of people who no matter what have your back. And then I remember too, when we first started the Discord, we all had like sent each other pictures and everything like that, just so that we had a better idea of like who we were visually rather than just via chat. You know, it's just like a multifaceted piece for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, for me, when I first joined the Discord, like I'd never even didn't even know what Discord was. I never even heard of it. Like, what's this Discord shit? What? And I must admit, when I first went in there, and obviously because you guys that were in there had already made such like deep relationships with each other, I did feel like a little bit on the outside trying to find my way in. But I found my place. Generally, the one that tells the naughty jokes.
When I was in as the Discord evolved and more people joined in, I kind of just didn't notice. I was just like, if someone wants to talk, I'm here to talk. I don't care who you are. I want to talk.
But yeah, the Discord thing was a bit weird for people that came in later on as well, because obviously, like we've been saying, the Discord obviously has a much more kind of private, we're kind of basically just friends in there at this point, just kind of chatting and bullshitting all day. So when it was time to introduce, let's say, someone new, I was making a new iteration, it was always like, should we kind of ease them in so that like they don't get really overwhelmed by how tight we all are right now? So
there was none of that.
That was an interesting thing. No, yeah, it was another one of those things where it was a bit like, let's keep it all business. It was just like, maybe we should ease them in. Nah, it's just like
the first time we added new mods, we definitely like talked about like trying to ease them in, and so we made the whole new server, and it was like maybe 5-6 hours of like trying to like behave.
I can remember
It didn't last. It didn't last.
I recall none of that.
Yeah, no, we threw you to the fire. You just...
Yeah, I just remember from when being on the stream just as a chat member, I used to think, oh my god, this is such a pro gang of people that really know the stuff, and you're so... And then after becoming a mod and just into the Spirit Unplugged channel, just, fuck, what a crazy bunch of mofos. And just instantly also, I loved it.
It was such a shock, because I'm not... Before I joined our Discord, I wasn't particularly used to having something online that I felt kind of compelled to constantly check for updates in a very long time.
Same.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I gotta find out what people were saying. What happened in the chat? What's the tea? And it was such a weird change for me, but like I finally got the flow and I know how to like stop myself from checking it constantly.
Even right now, I just pulled up chat to check it.
I still do random spot checks occasionally just to see what's happened.
If I jump in, I got to go back and read like the last 100 messages or so just to see what the conversation's been about, because it changes every 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
100 messages, and it's only gone back like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, guys.
No, but then you could be talking for like a whole hour, and then suddenly the conversation stops, and then you feel compelled. Should I start it up again, or was it something I said?
Oh yeah, guys. We gotta take off.
Guys,
Go ahead,
let me quickly interrupt you, because Zach didn't do a sign off first. So if you want Zach, you just like let people know you're leaving, and then Art, you can just like say your bit as well. And
No,
yeah.
Art, you go first, dude. Go ahead.
One of you.
After you, Zach.
Okay, sir.
Oh,
I
God.
appreciate it. Okay.
No, you hang up first.
Or fall asleep on the phone and just listen to each other breathe. All right, well, this has been a lot of fun, everybody. Actually, a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be more stressful, to be honest. But, this has been great. I do got to go. I got to take off. I got to take care of the family and stuff. So I'm looking forward to the next run. I'm sure I'll see you all around Discord or in the stream somewhere. So take care for now. Thanks again for putting this all together.
Later, Zach.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, see you later, man. Thank you for
Bye,
joining us.
See you later, Zach. Bye, Zach. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, my turn. Okay, I love to stay, but if this all goes well, maybe I'll see you guys in the 30th anniversary. Okay? Yep.
Shit.
Dream big.
Dang.
We barely made it 2 years.
Or we can do this more often. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's 2 a.m. here. I'm gonna be off. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night,
have a
Zach.
good
Take care, man.
Good night, Art.
See ya.
Yeah, see you later, man. Thanks for staying up for us.
Yeah. See you.
Ah.
All right. Okay. So where were we at? If you want, we can try and pick things back up again.
I think I knew you guys pretty well, just from the stream chat, and I don't think it was that much. I mean, it was a little bit of a shock initially for like the first day of, wow, you guys are like super active on the Discord. And I mean, but it was like a pleasant surprise though, because it at least like working from home, you don't have that. You can't see, you don't see people face to face. So just general, I don't get to talk to as many people, so this was kind of like a saving grace, like, oh, at least I get to talk to some more people during work. But yeah, I mean, it's I feel like I've known you guys for a while, and I was just I don't know, it was a pleasant surprise.
It's intense, isn't it? It's very intense because we
Yeah.
spend so much. No, I mean it in a good way. Like because we spend so much time on there together, we've got to know each other very well, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's fantastic. I mean, sometimes it can take, I know it has been years, but it can take like actual years to build a friendship like what we've all got.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
getting the warm fuzzies. I love it. Ow.
I think it's especially because I've moved away from home. I don't really have access to I just like in general don't really have a lot of leisure time for myself. Especially when I first started coming into the stream, and I was just in university and I was just going through the motions, and like the stream felt like, weirdly enough, it felt like a fun affirmation that time was passing and people were in a place where I could constantly refer back to and talk to.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to connect with people that way, and to the point where if I came in often enough, people would remember me and I could spark up conversations that picked up from the last time I was there. And it kind of reminds me of when I used to play games online when I was really young, and there was just like a group of friends that I would chat with on like online games. But I don't really do that anymore, and this kind of fills that void, if you could call it one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's similar to Real Deal because obviously because I work from home exclusively as well. I mean, I started the stream at a time when I started to do less like filmmaking work. So as of about 2019, I've been pretty much like full time on YouTube and working from home. And one thing that I always mention about working from home in the way that I do is that obviously you don't get to have the social interaction with people on a day-to-day basis. So the fact that obviously we got to form this group, to me, it almost just feels like it's some kind of like an office. It's almost like you guys are like my colleagues and that kind of thing. We all get to just, you know, have a fun time together every day. So it's been really good for me, especially when I'm like editing or, you know, I might spend like 4 to 6 hours a day just messing around with that. But there's always some kind of banter going on in the group, and it's just, I don't know, it's been nice. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's always a nice place to come back to like chat with other people just whenever you feel so inclined, because there's always something going on.
And not only that, I feel like too, and I'm gonna be similar to Laura and give those warm fuzzies for a second. It's like, you know, when you're having a really shitty day at work, or, you know, you're just having a shitty day in general, and it's just nice to have, you know, 13, 14 other people who can, you know, just make your day a little bit better, you know, just by hanging out with you and having a conversation, and you never feel like you're a burden to them. At least that's how I feel. I've never ever felt like a burden to any other of you guys, and it's just really nice to have.
That's because you're not, sweetie. You're not.
It's just it's nice to have, you know, I mean, I have the luxury of having Real as a in real life friend, but it's nice to have you guys as well, just to have to talk to whenever I need to. It's just really sweet.
That's something I'm curious about though. Like obviously, for people that don't know, Real and Erica are obviously two people in real life who happen to be both moderators and also live close enough to actually meet up and you know, be friends in real life. So what was that like when you guys met up for the first time?
Oh my gosh, go ahead, Real. I'm gonna...
Well, I remember when I was first there, or at least when I first started to become really active, I think we were talking about the Eagles and football and stuff, and you were saying that you were an Eagles fan as well, and you were from PA, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And but I didn't really like want to delve into it. I don't want to be like a creep guy, like, oh my god, where do you live? And,
that came later.
And I think later, like.
No, you're gonna suss out enough questions to figure it out on your own.
And, I forget what exactly. I think we were talking about like traveling in our area, and I said something like one of our towns nearby, and you're like, "Wait, you live near that town? So do I." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" And we we just found out that we live like 10 minutes away. And
but not only that, we also work right down the street from one another.
We work on the same street. Like,
is that why you guys can get lunch together all the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so jealous.
You can pretty much see our offices like from our own windows and stuff.
That's wild.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's a hell of a coincidence.
And so after and then I think we like started talking on Discord after that. This was before I was a moderator and stuff. And then Burke wanted us to do the videos for the 1 year anniversary. This is, I think it was like right when you announced it. And so I'm like, wait a minute, why don't my idea is, why don't I bring Erica in and we'll do one together? And she was like, yeah, sounds like a great idea. And so I think we just got dinner at a sushi place nearby. I brought Becky along, so she didn't think I was up to anything.
There ain't nothing sketch.
So she didn't think you were up to anything nefarious?
Right. And so it was a fun time. I think we hung out like for a long time that day.
For a while.
Yeah.
We We played Exploding Kittens. I had never played it before. That was really fun.
I think we did some like Beat Saber on the VR stuff.
Yeah, we played Beat
cool.
Saber.
And,
We Becky and I talked about murder podcasts.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're all really into that, and it was a lot of fun. So
and now, I mean, we ding dong. I ding dong ditched Real today
yeah,
to
This
drop
morning.
off donuts. So that's
Yeah.
what we do. So now we're
That's so
actually real
nice.
friends.
That's so cool.
I was waking up with work like really early this morning, like 6ish or so, and then like there was like 3 hours of doing all that crap. I went back to sleep, and it was like I think around 10 o'clock that Erica dropped it off, but I couldn't tell. I heard my doorbell go, but I couldn't tell if it was my dream or not. So I was like, you know what? Usually it's just like a doorman or like a delivery person or like somebody trying to sell something. So I was like, no, I'll just let it go. And then I just get a DM from Erica saying, hey, check your front door, pretty much. And I was like, that was you.
Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real.
Yeah. So it was a pleasant surprise.
That's awesome. I mean, one of the things that's a bit frustrating about this whole thing in that sense is obviously we've all become such good friends, but like in reality, almost all of us live really far away from each other. So the possibility of us coming together in real life to actually meet up is quite slim. So that's always been a bit of a shame, but it's nice that we have some that can.
Unless everybody who's listening, 1,000 concurrent viewers, mod meetup. I'm just
Tell your
saying.
friends, tell your family, have it on all the time.
All the time. We need your help. Make this happen.
Berk, pull up a GoFundMe.
I need to,
do
we need some kind of hashtag / like campaign, something like that.
Hashtag Dangs mod meetup.
But I think it's really cool that even if we did do a mod meetup, like we would all really get along, and like we'd have a hell of a time. Like, it'd be so much fun.
I kind of wonder if it would feel like we missed a beat at all, because I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
You guys are so ingrained in what I do in my day to day.
I mean, I personally, I've met Ammo, I've met Laura, and I've met Tan, who couldn't be on the Modcast today. So I've met those three in real life, and honestly, like you say, it didn't really feel weird at all. It was like within minutes, you're just kind of.
It was just like meeting up with a friend. You know, you wouldn't think that it's like, oh, just a guy from YouTube that you've never met before. We've talked so much and we got to know each other so well. It was just like meeting up with anyone else, really.
Yeah.
It's just normal. It's like you've known them your whole life.
Maybe Laura has known you her whole life.
Yeah.
Is there something she's not telling me?
Rel, shush.
But yeah, that was a good opportunity. We had the Distant Worlds concert in London, and Laura could come down for that one, so that was good, and Tan as well. So the three of us together, we went to check that out.
That was fab. Loved
it was a great time.
So jealous that you guys got to do that. That must have been amazing.
Real and I wanted to do, it wasn't Distant Worlds, it was called A New World. They were coming to Philly, I believe, and we wanted to do that, but then with everything that started happening with Corona, it was just like, there was no way.
Right.
I mean, Burke, you even had plans to head over to, like, Erica and Real. And possibly here in Toronto, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I tried to kind of plan, and it is still definitely like something that I have plans to do. I'd love to do it, but obviously the current situation is just so crazy that I don't know when I can, but I'd love to do it hopefully at some point.
There's like a Final Fantasy VII Remake concert in London. I think it was scheduled.
Oh, in October.
Yeah, I was gonna.
October, wasn't it?
I haven't. I think the date's not announced because of Corona now, but yeah, I was
How
planning
much
on
do you
coming,
think those
actually.
tickets are gonna cost?
I'm so going there if it's still going in October.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a meetup there.
I'll be there.
Yay!
Every time I think about going to concerts and stuff like that, I'm always just like sorely like reminded that my bank account is just sad and I cannot spend it on like a concert.
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay, well, I have to go now, so I'll have to see you guys later, and I'll see everyone else in the chat as well from time to time. So I'll see you all later. Have fun.
Bye,
Emma. See you,
It was nice
man.
having you on here.
It wasn't that
Why
See you
did
later,
you
man.
physically
Take care,
wave?
That was
It
okay.
was
Thanks
nice
for joining
hearing
us.
his voice finally, because like for some reason it
Yeah.
doesn't connect with me that he's in the UK sometimes, and I forget that he has a British accent.
Right?
I
Yeah.
concur.
Yeah, I remember the early days of the Discord when we all sent each other voice files for the first time so we could hear what everyone sounded like.
Oh, did
that
you
was
guys
interesting
really?
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mark
weird.
1 of the server.
I don't know what kind of secret whispers they said to each other in their
I
DMs.
remember everybody being super surprised by mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your voice is a lot deeper than I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be, Josh. Does that like surprise a lot of people?
Yeah, it does. Especially people who used to know me. Because, like, as a kid, I had a really, like... Yeah, well, actually, like, until I was, like, 16, I had, like, a really high and scratchy voice. And then just,
Wow.
like, eventually one day, I don't know, I was just, like, messing around and with, like, voices I could do. And so I was just, like, doing different things with my voice, and I came across this, and I was like, wait, I don't know, that kind of sounds good, I think.
Wait, are you telling me you manufactured this post-puberty?
Yes, I'm telling you, I manually overrid my voice, and, like,
You manufactured this adult voice of yours?
yes, that is exactly what I'm telling you, is that
I feel so lied to.
I did it until I started doing it out of habit. Like,
Oh my god.
for, like, weeks. For, like, weeks.
That is insane.
I was doing,
Gosh, you're so weird.
yeah, for weeks it was manual. Like, I had to think about what I was saying until it stuck.
I think it's revelation time. Josh is actually 12 and he's just putting
Yeah.
his voice.
Dang. I knew
I had
it.
3 kids in a trench coat.
Burke would know he's his father.
You can lower your voice better than I can, at least.
Yes, I was actually going to say, like, I didn't expect your voice either. But I don't know it's weird because I don't know what I was expecting. I feel like we're also on the stream at very different times.
Because I'm gender fluid, and so I just lower my voice naturally when I'm feeling male, and then when I'm feeling female, I can go really high. This is as deep as I go when I'm normally talking. In terms of singing, I can go really baritone, but
Baritone.
I don't want to go baritone. I need to warm up.
No, it's okay. I won't put you on the spot.
I need to warm up in order to go baritone, and even then, I can't get that low. I can pretend to be a tenor, but like whenever I was singing, we had an actual choir where people had to volunteer to be tenors because we didn't have enough tenors, which basically means that a couple of the girls had to go down into the boys section, and I could not do that. I cannot survive, especially when being really loud, because I had to sing the national anthem for my graduation, my high school graduation, and it physically hurt me because, in one of our songs, just, the guy who wrote it had no idea what the range of an alto was. So, yeah, it hurts if I go too low.
Yeah, that's fair. You gotta warm up real bad to, quite a lot to, get to anywhere for proper singing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it takes 10 minutes of warm-up, depending on if you're with other people. If you're on your own, it takes 5 seconds, so...
I think you got a good voiceover voice. I think you could, you should make content on YouTube.
Yeah, because I had to I tried making a YouTube video for one of my classes, and it was on history and mythology, and I had an entire script written out, because I've already researched this, because I research mythology in my in my free time.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I was so smart, and I thought that, creating a 10-minute script is okay, and I chose a Norse mythology, even though that's not good. So the voice recording, it turned out okay. My mom, she was like, "Oh, you sound so good," and I was like, "I don't know about that."
Listening to your own voice back is always the worst.
Oh, it's...
Oh, yeah,
I don't know how you
definitely.
do it, Burke.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm even going to be able to listen to the Modcast when it's finished.
I listened to the practice test, and I feel like I sound so terrible.
I'm gonna just have a
Yeah.
beer in my hand and drink whenever I speak.
You gotta drink your way
Oh my,
through
you
it.
get wasted.
It's one of those things that it takes a long time to get used to. So, like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen my first ever commentary video. Does anyone know what it is?
No.
It's Crash Bandicoot, isn't it?
Yes, well, there you go.
Oh, damn!
That's a real one. That's a real one right there.
Wow.
Mega fan.
She's right. Tell him, Jay.
What? The game?
Yeah.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot.
Wow.
2, I think it was. Yeah.
I was playing through Crash Bandicoot Warped on the channel in 2011. I think it was like November 2011, something like that. And that was when I decided to try the whole commentary thing. So I think it was like maybe episode 10 of that playthrough, and I just went for it. And it was really funny because I was at uni and I was sharing a house with 5 other people. And I felt really like embarrassed that they could hear me when I was commentating. So my voice is like, you can tell I'm being quieter than I would be normally. It's like this really embarrassing, like terrible intro to commentary, but you just get used to it, and over time you just, I don't know, it just obviously becomes normal.
It just sounds like you're sneaking around in a house that you shouldn't be in.
That's seriously, like, go and watch it, and if you have that context, you'll realize why my voice sounds a bit different than it normally does. I think we've already talked about like the real life stuff. How did you discover the channel? You guys basically kind of talked about that at the start anyway.
I didn't really talk about it, but it's kind of it feels like a strange jump into your channel. So, well, I can't talk about it. I did like the story. I thought it was kind of nice. I think I like told you guys already, but it was because when I first started finding content on your channel, it was actually when I was going through chemotherapy, because a lot of you guys know I had cancer a while ago because I make inappropriate jokes about it all the time. But yeah, it was just because I was so tired and I still wanted to play. I still wanted to have the experience of playing video games because I craved it a lot. So then I started finding YouTube content that did LPs, and that was when I first discovered LPs in general because I had no idea what they were. And I found it all of yours for 9 and then 10, and when you first started doing 15, and then I was like, oh, this kindly British voice is just going to walk through these games with me that I love. Let's try this for a while. So that's how I got started, just consuming content on your channel, really.
Yeah.
Personally, I was just trying to 100% Final Fantasy X, and I was like, this is the first thing that popped up. Okay, let's go.
First on the recommended. Let's go.
I think my video was the one you did of getting all the chests at Remium. And I remember listening to it and thinking, oh my god, this guy's voice is so lovely. I could listen to you, Beck. You know I could listen to you for hours. And I just thought... I'd listened to a couple of other LPers in the past, and they're all really arrogant or really up themselves, but you were just so down to earth and so just conversational in your tone. I thought, and then a bit like what Rel did, I went back to the beginning of that 10 playthrough and then watched it all.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's still crazy to me because in my real life, it's not. I think it's probably the kind of compliment you don't really pay people in real life. You don't really listen to people and be like, "Oh, I love your speaking voice," or "I like your speak. I could listen to you," whatever. But I think YouTube is one of them weird things where it revealed this thing that I didn't know about myself in that sense. Because obviously, to me, it's just my own everyday. This is just my voice, but. I guess when people praise you, it's just really different. I just wasn't really ever expecting that, to be honest.
It's just refreshing to go to a YouTube video that wasn't it didn't have an intro sequence and then hey guys, smash that like and subscribe button.
Smash subscribe.
There's always that meme.
And you don't do any of the screaming.
Yeah.
You don't do any of the screaming and overreaction to so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stuff.
It's such a thing in LPs or playthroughs where people are screaming and yelling at the game, which I understand is a visceral reaction. You can't always control that, but it breaks the audio and it hurts when I've got my headphones in.
Yeah.
No, but when Bert got pissed off during Boxed Phalanx in the
that was
13,
hilarious.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's going down. And you don't scream, you just start cursing.
Yeah, but then it's when he swears in Turkish though. That's when you know he's really.
That's my favorite.
It's when the
That's my
Turkish
favorite.
comes out.
Yeah, that's true.
He did that during 13 too, when there were the anomalies for the clocks.
Oh man. Yeah.
No, I was just telling him I'm a 13 expert, and I am telling you, please look this up online because there is a solver online. He's like, no, I'm doing it genuinely.
Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't. That's the only time in my life I've actually damaged a controller, like ever.
Wow.
I actually like did
I never
smash.
do that. Oh my god.
Yeah, at one point I did slam my controller into the desk. I just got really annoyed. But at least you know. At least you know with me it's sincere. If I'm getting pissed off, it's legit.
Yeah.
It's not for show.
Oh, jeez.
But
Oh no.
Is someone dying?
Oh.
Who's dying?
Yeah, sorry, my voice just cracked. I've been talking too much. I don't know how to handle this.
His real voice is coming out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
The true voice.
Is 2 octaves higher Josh about to come out?
If I could send side eyes, I would send side eyes right now.
Wow. But
I just want to see if we can break him. Like, I want to see if we can hear his real voice at some point.
yeah, let's just keep going for like another hour and a half and it might come out. But anyway, so my like experience with the channel, like before the stream and all that, like I remember like my earliest memories are with the FF10 and FF12 movie versions. Like I think those were the first things I found. And I watched both of those.
The first thing that I found was the 13 like long movie version, and then
Yeah.
I realized that the Final Fantasy X stream was made by, like, the walkthrough was made by the same person. I was like, oh,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to say for me was I watched those and I remember like watching them for the first time and being like, wow, these are edited so well. Especially with like the FF12 one. I was like blown away by it because it was so like nice and together and everything just flowed so well. And it just stuck with me. And then I remember like later on I found like some of your FF10 stuff. Like again, like the Dark Anima No Sphere Grid, your 100% thing. I think I watched your like regular No Sphere Grid stream, like archive.
Yeah.
And so I remember watching like a lot of your FF10 stuff. And then I kind of fell away from the channel until like your FF12 like actual walkthrough. And that's when I started getting like invested again. And then the stream happened. So I was kind of off and on with the channel.
I definitely remember you from the comments in Final Fantasy 12. I think it was one of those things where I've told the story before, but for people who haven't maybe heard of it before, obviously when I started the stream and it was only the first few days and people talked about moderators and finding mods and all that stuff, it was always a bit like, okay, but like who and like how, and I didn't really have too much to go on. And I didn't want to turn it into like this big formal process of like, oh, sending your applications to you or whatever.
Send in your age, occupation.
Yeah, so I was like, but then how can I even pick reliable mods? Like, how is that possible? I don't really have that much to go on. So when Josh was in the chat for the stream, he had like a username that I recognized instantly just because it was one that I hadn't really encountered before. And he had like a lot of like well-written, like well thought out, like good comments in the Final Fantasy 12 playlist. And I was like, I know this guy. And obviously I watched him for a while in the stream and I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't have that much to go on, but what I do have to go on, I'm convinced enough to give him a shot. And so like that's why sometimes commenting can help in these things. If you never commented on Final Fantasy 12, it probably would have taken longer maybe, or I don't know, like played out differently or something.
I'm sure my
As
massive
well.
paragraphs in 13 really contributed.
Yes, like no one can beat yes when it comes to comment. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I originally thought, Bert, that you picked your mods based on the amount of knowledge they had on individual Final Fantasies when I first jumped into that.
Right.
Like, it felt like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, because people have their favorites, they know them.
We are a fountain of knowledge.
Yeah, they have more knowledge on some fantasies, some games than others. So I was like, I guess that makes sense. But also, I thought it was just a prerequisite to Modhead.
I think it kind of worked out, honestly. Like, all of us, each individually,
We all have different favorites.
have different favorites
Yeah.
and know so
Yeah.
much about so many, different ones that, like, for example, I don't know a whole lot about Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 12, but, Tan and, Josh will know plenty. So it kind of, like, picks up my slack in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a unintended side effect. I didn't really pick based on that, like Selena said, but when you look through the list, like everyone sort of has like their specialist Final Fantasy, which ended
We
up
all
playing
have
out
our
really
biases.
well. So if you want,
Yeah.
I think we can maybe talk about that. Maybe some people haven't really had a chance to fully express like their favorite Final Fantasy, or like outside of 10, which one's their favorite and that kind of stuff. Because obviously 10's everyone's favorite here, right?
Right?
Cricket
Right?
sounds.
I will admit it's close. Like,
13 is
like everyone like jokes about how much I love FF12, but in reality, it is close between FF12 and
Really?
FF10. Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay. But
Who's your favorite character?
Name a character, Josh. I dare
Your
you.
favorite, Josh.
is that the one with Elma?
Oh my god, Elma.
Wait,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
never mind. That's FF9.
when you named her Alma, and it was like, oh my gosh, no, this is a permanent name.
You did this.
Yeah.
This is forever now.
Rest in pepperoni.
That was funny.
You just got to own it, man. That kind of, when you play blind, that happens. What can you do?
It's funny because I can't disassociate a dagger or dagger from that name anymore.
Yeah, whenever I see Elma in 10, I think of Dagger in 9.
Yeah, I did that.
She's kind of like the grown-up version of Dagger in 10, Elma, because she's still got like the dark hair.
Yeah, I gotta say the name fits.
Final Fantasy X,
exactly.
I'm just like, Garnett, what are you doing here?
Okay, yeah, we got a little bit more to potentially talk about in terms of the modding. So one thing that I'd want to ask, and like other people have been curious about, is what's been the most memorable moment of the stream over the last 2 years? She just laughs. She just laughs.
For me,
Hedy coming on the stream,
Yeah.
and Kev just... What did Kev say?
Oh, I think he asked for James Arnold Taylor.
he asked who is Heidi Buress, and she fucking
Yeah.
she garbaged. Like
She, like, to coin an other phrase, she bodied him.
she probably, that's the
She really did.
That's for you, Emma.
But yeah, aside from Kevin's thing, I think Heidi coming to the stream was like amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I had the awesome opportunity because of Burke to talk to her and stuff, and she's really sweet and nice. Yeah, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really, really.
Yeah.
It was almost surreal in a way.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and also your most your recent the live stream that you did a few weeks ago with the chests, and those
Yeah.
2 fantastic runs.
Oh yeah.
Sausage.
That was so good.
Praise be to sausage.
Hot dogs in the stream everywhere.
Yeah.
Hot dog, underdog.
Yeah, Sausage was cheated out of that one, let's be honest.
Yeah, he was. He deserved that win.
Yeah, he did. But aside from like the Hedy Beers thing, which is kind of like not fair, like when we're talking about moments, so I'm just gonna like discount that one because it's too much. Like everyone's gonna say that, so I'll give my second best. There was just this
Okay.
one night where it was the ending of FF10, and Meet and Dream actually just started like roasting you, Yevon, in chat, and it went
Yeah, I
on for like
remember
an
that.
hour. And I never laughed in chat as much as I did that night. Like, it was great, and I'll always remember that. Like, that's just, like, my moment that I think about when I think about, like, great moments from the stream. It's just clowning on you, Yevon, for an hour.
Sel, I remember your like divorce on stream.
Oh god, that was funny.
Oh, man, that was last week, right?
That was cool.
It was a few weeks ago.
You want a divorce on stream, Josh? Josh, you got custody of the kids.
Oh, whoa, hold on. I can't be a dad.
Well, I think we know who got custody now. Oh, man. Actually, okay, well, speaking of... I don't know if this entirely counts, because I guess this happened in the Discord. But it was when I first got
Oh no.
When I first unofficially got added to the Discord,
Oh god.
before I was even a mod,
Oh yeah.
that was one of my most memorable moments. It was so...
Jesus, Josh.
I'm just gonna hide.
So to everyone who wasn't there, just like a recap of what happened was, so I'm just like on Discord, just kind of irregularly, but I know I added a few of the mods or people I knew from the stream onto my Discord just to chat privately, because I didn't really have any actual groups to add to my Discord. And then Josh went ahead and sent me a link to the Discord for the stream chat. So the stream chat is private. You're not allowed to be in there unless you're a mod. And he just added me to it, and it jumped me into like one of the it jumped me into one of the channels for the stream, and I was like, what is this? And I saw all these inappropriate comments and weird gifs and pictures, and I was like, ooh, Josh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And I was like, what just happened? And also, this is all happening while no one knows it's me. My Discord handle name is medium-sized Kraken. And then I was just like, Josh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. What is this? And I got really confused, and everybody else was really confused, and I was like, oh god, what do I do? And this is also when I don't really know Discord. I didn't even know how to unadd myself or remove myself from this chat. And I was like, what do I do? I panicked for a good 20 minutes until I had to contact Burke and ask him, can you kick me off this channel? I don't know how to leave.
Yeah, I felt so bad about that.
I was like, Josh, what did you do?
And I'll always remember what you said to me, because you private messaged me. You private messaged me while you were in there panicking, and you were like, I'm a fragile soul, Josh. Please don't do this to me. And I'm like, no, what have I done?
My heart was racing. I was like, I feel like a home invader in a chat that I was not supposed to be a part of.
It was...
Oh, God.
That was my low point of being a mod.
Oh, God. Yeah, and I just had this conversation with Burke where I was just like, I'm so sorry. Please forget you ever knew anyone named medium-sized Kraken ever again.
But it was just the irony that med-sized Kraken ended up becoming a mod someday afterwards as well.
Yeah, I ended up getting an official welcome eventually.
And then she became med-sized Karen.
Oh yeah, my name has changed so many times on that chat. We're on version 4.0 at this point.
I think one of my favorite times was when I forget who got it out of me and why. I think it was Psych, my McNuggets video.
Yes, McNuggets.
Those mutton chops. Those muttons.
Because I think you're trying to get my name out of me, and I was like, well, I have a video that says my name, and I think somebody dug into my videos and it was just like a
Well, that would have been Psych.
God.
That sounds something like Psych.
Wait, can we have a clip of it now?
Yeah.
Can we roll the clip?
Just edited the clip. Yeah.
Wait. Countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Wait, so real, for all of those who
great.
don't know this chicken nugget video, you want to tell us what that is?
So I had to do a video in high school. I had a film class, so we had to each make a little short film, and we had a rubric and a criteria we had to meet. And during this time, there was a McDonald's commercial, and it was that McNuggets rap commercial. And one of those, the guy who was rapping apparently looks just like me. It's actually Thomas Middleditch, the guy who's and what's his Silicon Valley, and he does his own stand up. That's him.
Yeah. I could see it. I could totally see
everybody told me. And that's what everybody in high school was telling me. Even one of my friends' mom was like, "Wait a minute, you look just like that dude." And also, it was that my new haircut video. It was like this meme video back in when we were in high school. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna combine them both, and I'm gonna do my own rap. And it was fun. It was super fun to make. Like we just try to recreate that video, and I do the rap, and I like end up on the roof of my house while rapping. I don't know. It was just fun to do.
I just looked up Thomas Middleditch McDonald's, and he looks exactly like you did in that video.
Yeah, so everybody loved it. It's just,
Does
it
he
was a
even
lot of
have
fun.
the sideburns?
The sideburns thing was.
For those of you,
Yeah.
well, for those of people that are listening that don't know, that in the UK we call sideburns mutton chops, and that's why whenever I see Rel on stream, I greet him with a little ram, because obviously mutton comes from sheep. And it's just stuck.
Oh my god!
The whole cyber thing was like I went to a private Catholic high school, and they were pretty strict on
They
like
made you have sideburns?
They couldn't.
Wow.
They didn't want you to have sideburns, but they only allowed it to go like up to the bottom of the ear. So as like a rebellion, I would try to grow it as long as possible.
What a rebel.
Yeah, because I couldn't have any other facial hair or whatever, and I was like, this looks cool.
Someone arrest this man.
Yeah.
Mutton chops.
So yeah, that was it was worse than college, believe me.
I will say, you could have a successful career as an impersonator if you wanted to.
I'll be his body double in movies. Yeah, we were just watching his stand up, and my wife was just like, "You look just like him," and I'm like, oh, "God, okay."
Like, if you got a proper haircut and you walked into a room, would people be like, "Hey, Thomas Middleditch, that's you"?
I don't know if that's a good thing. Yeah, it's I don't know. It was still a lot of fun, and then like it's a little embarrassing, that video, and then when Psych found it out, I'm like, oh shit, like everybody's gonna find out. And I think Spartan just still calls me McNuggets, and she still brings it up every time. So it was. I even told my wife about that later on that week, and she's like, "Oh my god, that video's gonna blow up now." And I'm like, probably not.
It's gonna have a whole
like
14 more viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, she like told my friend who was the rapper guy. I'm very good friends with him, and she's like, "Oh my god, you're gonna be famous now." And I'm like, no.
That's actually one thing I'm curious about. When it comes to like, you know, your the people that you live with or that you're really close with in real life, like your best friends, your family, and that kind of stuff. To what extent do they know that like you're a moderator and you do this kind of stuff? Like, how does that work?
My friends don't understand YouTube.
I actually think one of my friends was the first person to call me by my first name in the stream, and I was trying to keep it hidden just for like nothing really too serious. But then he was like, "What's going on here, Jim?" And I'm like, "Damn it!" I was literally sitting next to him while he put that in the chat, and I was like, "Do you know what you just done?" So they know about the stream. The one that guy Tim, he's a big fan of Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and stuff. So he's visited a few times, and so a few people know about it. Not everybody, but everybody who's a fan is in there.
I actually told some of my friends about it, and because they're such shitlords, they came on and trolled, and I had the opportunity to perma-ban them. So yes, my friends are perma-banned.
I remember some dude just saying hi, and then he instantly got banned. And
yeah,
I had to take
because
out the
one of them's
trash.
an idiot. He called me by my real name, so it's obvious I know him in real life. So it's like, oh my god, I have to remove this guy immediately.
Yeah.
Like, none of my friends are into Final Fantasy, and none of them are into YouTube either. And so, like, one of my friends, I'm trying to teach her Final Fantasy 13, and she's having so much trouble. And I'm like, okay, it's official, Burke is better at playing this. Like,
wow.
She was having so much trouble with switching paradigms, and then her health got low, and I'm like, you should probably switch to a healing paradigm. She's like, how do I do that again? I mean, we were halfway through the Brescia Ruins.
I think Yas can relate to me in terms of like having a legit passion for a game that literally no one in your real life has a passion for. Like, I don't know literally in real life anyone that really is into Final Fantasy X that I see in my in my real life, so that's always been a bit weird growing up.
I know a couple of friends who do know Final Fantasy at the very least.
Sad FF12 noises.
I think for me, Steve, shout out to Steve if he ever listens to this ever. I don't know if he will. He obviously knows that I moderate. He knows that I'm upstairs right now recording this podcast with you guys. And the thigh ban, the infamous thigh ban, happened while we were driving to Pittsburgh to visit his family a few years ago, about 2 years ago. And so he's pretty much the only one, other than Real, obviously, out of my friends who really know or understand, one, what I do, and two, have any sort of like indication about Final Fantasy or anything like that. Steve's never played a Final Fantasy in his life. I don't think he ever will, which is fine. But for me,
that's the same for me, Erica. Like Dunk, who is my other half. Again, a bit like you with Steve. I'm not sure he'll ever listen to this or listen all the way through it, but he's the only person that knows that I mod the stream and all the rest of it. But I don't think he really appreciates it. He just, it's like, oh yeah, that's nice, darling, and then just carries on watching the telly or flicking through his Facebook or playing on his little Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And
I'll end up, and I'll be, in the stream just hanging out with you guys or whatever, and I'll be like laughing really hard, or like I'll be, talking about Final Fantasy or something like that, and he's like, "You're such a huge nerd," and like when the remake was coming out, I was like, "I'm so excited! This is such a big deal! Like we've been waiting for this for so long." He's like, "Nerd," and I was like, "Okay, bye."
Me and my dad were playing Final Fantasy Remake at the same time, so we're both talking to each other and complaining about it. And then my mom is in the room, and she's like, "Oh, you're talking about this. I told you not to talk about this weird stuff in my presence." And I'm just like, "Then plug your ears because we're talking about Motorball and how much we hate him."
So for me, like, my mom kind of like knows about it, and like she kind of like has an idea of it, but she doesn't really understand. And like I haven't even talked to my dad about it because he doesn't even like understand these things at all. But
so like what was it like when you guys got like your mod t-shirts and stuff? Were your friends or like parents or whatever like, what is this? Who is this guy on this t-shirt and stuff?
No, mine never batted an eyelid. Like, oh, that's nice. You got your name on the shirt. That's nice.
Yeah, like my friends didn't really question who it was on the shirt, but they thought it was super cool that I was like getting a shirt as part of like a thing, and there was like a custom shirt and everything.
Yeah, my parents were just like, "Oh, that's a face right there on a shirt that you're willing to wear." All right.
That's a ginger person there.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
ginger guy.
Yeah.
That's that about that, I guess.
I'm not sure if we're supposed to mention this, but the calendar thing is.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, I think we can.
Yes.
I think we can mention it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think the calendar will be more of a real thing to show. I think because the T-shirt isn't really, it's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm
so
excited.
all the
Everyone
time
have
online.
like pictures of everybody.
Yeah, to show
or things
other
that
people.
relate to other people. Yeah, like look, these are all my friends that you think I don't have. Here we are.
Oh,
we exist.
So, one thing from this stream that I did show like my family and they thought was amazing was the art that Selena did of all of us.
Aww.
So
Yeah.
I showed
love that art.
My mom that picture of her and the cat, like that art, and I mean of me and the cat, and she just absolutely loved it, and she asked me to send it to her, and so now she has that picture, and she like showed it to my niece, and
that's
now like
so sweet.
I've seen like a couple times where like my niece actually asked to see the picture.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's so cute.
yeah,
that's
it's
so
the most
sweet.
amazing thing.
Oh, well, I'm glad they liked it. That's so sweet.
That picture's one of the coolest things.
I mean, it's really good art.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Oh, thank you guys.
All of the little caricatures are adorable.
Yeah, I like. Well,
Still, you're so good.
thanks. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, just a really casual hobby. I like illustration is a hard business to get into, so I never really pursued it like ever past like enjoying just doing doodles and stuff like that. So now all of my I don't know, all of my creative drive has like come out in these little short bursts, like doing the Moderator team cartoons. Like, it was so much fun.
See, you have your really cute style, and then I sent you the picture that you based mine off of, and like that's the closest thing to doodling I have, and that took me hours, and I don't do that very often.
Well, I hope I did it justice. Actually, doing the caricature of yours, of your drawing, was super fun too.
I think for me it was crazy because obviously I wasn't expecting. I had no idea that you guys had something like that in the works. And near, like, was it before? I think it arrived before Christmas, right? Or was it after? I forget. I think it was before.
I think it was like a day or so. It was like a week before.
I think it was before.
Yeah, and it arrived before.
I posted it before.
And I'm trying to remember the day where like it came through, and obviously because it was a total, like, I had no idea that something like that was happening. I just ripped it open, like not realizing it was something I shouldn't have opened. Yeah, and it was already too late, and I was like, oh man,
no,
that's
it got
so
bent.
cool.
It got bent.
Well, at least you didn't rip
really
the card,
nice.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my excitement, I almost did. But I mean, it's just, I just loved it so much because I think it was just like an affirmation of just like how much of a family we'd become, and like just each individual person, like any one person in the group who sees that picture can pretty like instantaneously know who's who from like the caricature. And like we all had our own like little unique things, and just like I just thought it was really nice, and it's like permanently obviously on display like on my little nerd shelf with all my other stuff. And, like I tried to like use it at every opportunity. So I just loved it. It's a really nice gesture.
I gotta charge you for ad revenue now.
Yeah. I might sneakily add it to the merch shop and just like make millions.
That would be so cute though, man.
I mean, people have been begging for new merch.
Hey, I mean, if anyone's listening to this and like they want to have a T-shirt with this on it, I'm happy to put it on the store.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah, that would be so cute.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about putting it on a shirt, like. For obviously, I haven't really publicly mentioned it too much, but I wanted to make the moderator group a calendar to celebrate like the second year. So every mod has their own calendar page with like their own little, like almost like a yearbook quote and like a photo, just as like a memory for everybody. And I was thinking, should I send them like a T-shirt with the mod T thing on it as well? And I don't know if I went like a bit overkill on this Selena artwork because I love it so much, but like I'm like, have I put it on everything now? It's like I need to ration my use of it.
Well, it's the only picture you have of me, so.
Mousepad, T-shirt, poster, calendar.
Put it on a mug.
Put it on
I mean,
a
I was looking into things like coasters as well, and I was like, well, if I got a coaster, the only artwork that would really work is Selena's artwork. But then, but that's already the front cover of the calendar, and I was just like, I got to save that for another thing.
We're gonna have like a quilt next with like a person on each patch.
I will jot that down.
Sounds like I just got to do more like fun group doodles of everyone, to be honest.
I mean, I just saw that and I was like, that could legitimately be some kind of silly, like fun, like little animation series or something. Like it could be fun.
Oh yeah, Josh, you were saying, was it Josh that you told me? Someone said it should be like a cartoon or something. I thought about
I'm
doing
pretty sure
like,
I mentioned that.
Simple like 4-panel cartoons before, but I wonder if I'd have the patience to like follow through with them for so long.
I don't remember if I said that or
I don't even
know.
I feel like I mentioned it at some point because obviously it's got that air of just like, everyone's just so unique. It's like the whole like misfit group of people that have come together.
I should try doing it at some point.
Okay, does anyone else have any other memorable moments they want to share?
Just one quick thing. It was Erica also timed me out at one point too.
I did?
By accident.
Did I?
Yeah, I remember that.
You did.
I forget exactly. I think you were walking Willow or something at the time. And you timed me out too. And I knew exactly when it happened. I'm like, "God damn it, it was Erica."
I remember one day I woke up to like a bunch of DMs from Erica, and it was like, "Oh, I've banned 3 people from the stream while I was asleep or something." And she's like, "Oh, can you unban them, please?" I was like, "Oh, Erica, stop banning people."
Because like, I'm a really nice person, and I try really hard not to ban people if I can avoid it. And so I try to time people out. And whenever I time people out, I'm like, "Oops, I hope they don't hate me for this now."
I just remember when I did that and I DM'd you that morning and I felt so bad. I just felt like through the screen the disappointment in your heart that I did that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst.
Burke just has a really good way of like piercing you with disappointment.
Yeah.
In the most like subtle ways. It's just like, wow, I'm a complete failure.
He just like comes into father mode and he's just like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Honestly, it was like, great, I gotta clean up Erica's mess again, and I'm like, I didn't mean it.
Sorry, Beck.
But that's part of what makes Erica who she is. It's kind of endearing in a way.
Aww.
Everybody knows I'm the mean mod, so it's fine.
You are not the mean mod.
She kind of is, though.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, we really don't have like many mean mods.
I'm just a lurker mod. I will be lurking on the stream so often.
Banning people still gives me a little bit of a panic attack in my
a rush
in my soul.
Oh wait, no. How love how you say a panic attack and I'm like a rush. Yes.
There are 2 types of people.
It's a panic attack for me, but it's an adrenaline rush for you.
What about Jay? Does Jay have a
Jay,
favorite
do you have
moment?
a memorable moment?
I'm just gonna go with the cliche one when Hayden Perez joined. I thought that was so amazing. So, because
I think for me as well, it was the first year anniversary and the video that came out from that. I think.
I was just about to say, I'm surprised
that was
nobody
so
mentioned
good.
that.
Oh, I loved that video.
I cried.
It was one of those things where it was just so good that I was like, I'd love to kind of do something similar, but I just knew in my heart like it probably wouldn't end up having the same magic that the first one did, and I couldn't think of like a different way to do the same sort of thing, so I just decided to not go for it for the second year.
I felt accomplished that I changed the background music with the Final Fantasy 13-3 theme.
Yeah, your one was creative, definitely.
Do you guys remember Spartan's video?
Oh,
yeah.
How could I forget?
Yes.
I love that.
How could you forget?
It just bodied the camera.
It just came in at the end. No, it was just like, the end, or is it?
He's a legend, Spartan. I really hope he's listening.
We love you, Spat.
And I had no idea what was going on at the time. It was like, oh my gosh, he kicked the camera.
Yeah, he went all in, man.
I was really excited for his and Arrow's because they're super special.
It was even the outfit as well that Spat had on that just had me in absolute stitches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Kermit as well, interspersed.
Yes! I was like, what is this Kermit happening?
Frog sandwiches.
I was kind of hoping for like a random close-up of a loaf of bread as well, but
Yeah.
I gotta go back and rewatch it again.
Or like a toy frog in between 2 bits of bread.
What a champ. That was so funny.
that was just amazing because obviously it was another one of those things where we didn't know what a lot of people looked like or sounded like in the chat, and it was a chance to meet those people. And it was so diverse as well. There was people from like pretty much every continent on Earth that sent something in, and it was just insane. Like it was unforgettable for me.
Yeah, I loved seeing that map go over where everybody was like roughly located before their video came up. That was so sweet.
Yeah, it was a good one.
And I really liked being able to see the audience as well as the other mods. It's like you get to see the mods saying hi, but you get to see all of these people. It's like, oh my gosh, people exist.
Yeah, especially because all the people who like brought in a video were people that were quite familiar in the chat. Like they come in more often than not, and we're able to like kind of converse with them on a like slightly deeper level than just like when people come in once or twice. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I even had Noonie in my video.
No, I think like it just created like a bigger sense of community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it kind of reminds you that there are those lurkers that are still there, and like I think one of my favorites was the twins. Like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's just like I don't think they really talked much in the chat, but they still love it and appreciate it, and just kind of has to remind you that there's people like that all the time in the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think do we want to get into like the whole, you know, what are like the difficult parts of being a mod and that kind of stuff?
If somebody wants to, I mean, I'm popping off, but I think the only thing I would add is like those bots that we had at one point that were just repeating everything that we said. That was scary because I didn't know if that was just going to be a constant thing that we'd have to deal with.
Yeah,
and stuff. But
I thought that was going to happen. I thought that was going to happen way more, to be honest. I just thought that would be like a constant problem. So when it did happen after all that time, I was worried as well. But thankfully, it didn't last too long.
I've never seen bots like that. I gotta say, like the ones that like copy what you said and repost it. I was just like, what's happening?
I thought that was a glitch in my computer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm heading off, guys.
All right.
See you later, Rio.
Bye.
That was a lot of fun. Glad I could be a part of this.
So nice to see you.
See you later, man.
For me, like one of the hardest things, I have really two of them, but one of the hardest things for me is like maintaining like these friendships with these people that I know from the stream that like are super fun to talk to, but also kind of remaining impartial and like moderating fairly. It's tough sometimes to be like, yeah, I have to like set this person straight, even though like they're my buddy and I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I kind of get that feeling, especially when like chats get heated in discussions that I kind of want to be a part of because I feel strongly about it. But like I don't know, Burke, you've said it once before, just as like general advice to us about modding, but it's just like I kind of have to pull myself out of the situation and be like, wait a minute, I'm not here in like a general capacity. I'm here to kind of like facilitate and moderate the chat. So it's like not really my place to get really heated. And I always have to remember like, I got to step out of this because I kind of have to be like a little less vocal about some of these opinions, because like I think in the long run, especially for the ones where you get really frustrated because it's people you can't really get through to in chat. Like I have to remember that like I gotta pick my battles and this is not the one.
Yeah,
I think continuing on what Josh said, one of the toughest things I think is when a regular is sort of acting up, and it's really difficult. Yeah, especially if it ends up being a permaban. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, it really leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
I mean, behind the scenes, that's probably one of the things that we discuss the most in terms of like the whole moderation thing, where like we have someone who's a regular who, let's say, we all generally like, or there's two types. There's either one that we all generally like and we've become kind of friends with, but there are times when they're kind of, you know, flirting with the idea of breaking the rules. Sometimes they do break rules, and it's like, do we want to really punish this person even though they've been like a positive member of the chat for like a year? But then if you don't punish them, then other people think it's okay to do it, and then they're going to start doing it. So it's always this constant like discussion and balance, trying to find a way to make sure we don't treat people unfairly, or like we keep the rules the same for everybody, no matter who they are.
I think it's tough too, because, you know, we have rules that we've discussed and had conversations about in Discord, and those aren't readily available to the individuals that are in chat. And then you know, when we get asked, oh well, you know, since when is this a rule, and we're like, since forever, you know, it's just not public knowledge to you guys necessarily, you know. So
and especially because this is such an informal, like it's kind of informal how we mod, and especially because we all mod slightly differently, those rules, even though they're in black and white, they're still up to interpretation from us as individual moderators, right?
Yeah, and that's a really good point Selena, like, we all mod differently, for sure. I mean, you know, I can honestly say that I'm not quite as quote-unquote calm, cool, and collected as, like, let's say, you know, Aaron, or, you know, somebody along those lines, or like Jay, you know, they're very even-keeled, and I'm like, no. Hammer.
Come in, hammers blazing, ready to go.
Yes.
I think it's probably also a bit difficult because at the end of the day, I mean, of course, in general, we always talk about these things, but when it really comes down to it, they're my rules. They're rules that I've decided to implement on the stream, and you guys are basically like the quote unquote messengers. So when you say something, some rules that I've made, you might not personally agree with for the stream, but at the end of the day, that's what you have to enforce. So sometimes you probably have to encounter these situations where people are unhappy about a rule, and while maybe you might actually be like, to be honest, they're kind of right, you still have to be the person to say, well, no, sorry, this is the rules, and you have to play by them. So
a commenting.
Yeah, man, I want to say fuck all the time.
Everybody, like we get the comment so many times. It's like, but he's cursing in the stream. It's like, do as he does, not as he says.
Yeah.
You're putting us in a difficult position, Burke.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest ones. But I mean, I still, it's been 2 years, and I still stand by not having F-bombs in chat because, I mean, like I would have mentioned before, it's just with my ones, they're kind of, yes, okay, you know, I do say it, but it's like a controlled, reactionary, pre-recorded thing. If you allow people to start using words like that in the chat, they're going to use it in context where it could be like harmful to other people, and it just creates like an atmosphere that's just unnecessary. I think people got enough words to not need to use F-bombs and still say what they want to say.
Yeah, so it's a slippery slope for sure.
It's healthy for the chat.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, I just wanted to talk about one more thing that I found kind of difficult about modding, which for me is burnout. Like, I really am the type who will go 110% on something for like months on end until I'm just absolutely unable to do it anymore. And so I really have to like watch myself with how much I'm doing it so that I don't end up just like completely taxing myself. Because I love it and I enjoy it, but I will burn myself out. And I admit I did burn out for a while, for like a few months.
Yeah.
I know you guys saw that I wasn't there as much, and it was definitely because I had burnt out quite a bit, and I needed to recharge, I guess.
Yeah.
I do try to have it in the background when I can, but like a couple months ago, I was working 16-hour days and barely getting any sleep. So I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm so sorry. I'm not even turning on my computer anymore because I don't have time.
I think in terms of like slowly starting to get towards the end of this whole thing, obviously I think it's important to talk about like Josh mentioned, burnout. Like for me, again, when I was making the stream and, you know, deciding to have moderators and stuff, one of my biggest questions, and something you can never really plan for, is like, well, how long are people going to stay interested and invested in this whole thing? And it was just like, I thought my personal like prediction the day I created the mod group was probably like, I would say in a few months, I'd start to see people like dropping out and saying, you know, I'm kind of bored of the stream. I'm not really enjoying it anymore. I've got other things to do. My life situation's changed, like all of these kind of things. But given that it's been 2 years and pretty much everyone who signed up for it and wanted to stay in it has stayed in it, that's just been like incredible from my perspective. So I guess for you guys, you know, like what keeps you doing what you're doing?
I think for me personally, it's just an overall love of the games. I mean, because I came across Final Fantasy at I won't say a young age, but I was about 16 or so, and when I first came across my first Final Fantasy, which was 8, and I just fell in love with it from there. And you know, it's like I say, it's a love for the game, but also it's love for the people that are there as well. Because like we've all mentioned, you make strange little friendships on stream chat, even though you know you're never gonna probably see them ever. It's a weird relationship that you form with people, and I just like being there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's
I really enjoy doing it.
It's really rewarding too.
Same for me as well.
Yeah, it's really rewarding.
The whole community is just so great being. It's a great bunch of people in there.
I wouldn't want to go unless I was pushed.
Yeah, for me it's the people. Like for me, with the games. Like, now that I got IW or PS4, like, I can play FF10 and FF12 whenever I want. So, like, I have those games available to me now. So, really, the reason I'm coming to the stream is to talk to people and to just have that interaction with...
And to talk to a Final Fantasy community.
Yeah, just building the community and being part of building it.
I mean, I think a really great thing about the stream is just like, I find it comforting in general that I have just this outlet where I know it's constantly going 24/7, and there's not a day in the, like, in 24 hours of a day, in a week, in a month, or whatever, where, like, I can't just, like, pop in and, like, have a chat with a random person and just talk in a very civil manner. Because I think also a really great thing about the stream, not to not to say anything about, like, if there's too little or too many people in other streams or anything like that, but I find that there is, like, a really nice number in the stream that we have where I can still have a slow-paced, like, well-thought-out conversation with someone without the speed of the chat going so fast that I can't really have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people come in enough that I can build these kind of friendships over time. So I feel like that also contributes to why people still come back after all these years. Like, all these years. It's been 2 years, but after all this time.
But there are certain people in chat that we've got to know really well on a really personal levels as well. I mean, there's two that I can think of that, obviously I don't want to say their names, but, you know, we've helped them through some pretty dark times.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've openly said to us that if it wasn't for the stream that they don't know where they'd be. And it's so nice to think that we've had a positive influence on people's lives just by something as simple as being on a Final Fantasy stream just chatting to them. It's so nice. It's so humbling.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear that, like, some people hold the stream chat in such high regard as far as, like, just being able to talk to such an open and friendly community goes.
Yeah.
That's why for me, like, the rules and the whatever that I've tried to come up with is always to try and keep the stream as somewhere that people who, you know, like, people got busy lives, you know, difficult lives, maybe stressful lives. I just want people to just go in there and just have a good time. I mean, I get that sometimes people want to, you know, they want to have heated debates, they want to talk about big topics, but to be honest, like, there's just so many other outlets for that on the internet. I just always want to keep it as a place for just have some fun, just chill, meet some cool people that like what you like, and just have some fun conversation. So that's why a lot of these rules are just aimed at trying to keep, like, the more, like, sinister, intense, heated sides of, like, these communities away, because I just don't think it serves what we're trying to do here, personally.
Yeah.
No, I think it's working as well, I think, because there's been a few people who's come on and said that it's, of all the live chats that have been online, it's the nicest one, the friendliest one. Everyone is feeling so welcome when they first enter. It's nice to hear, actually.
Yeah, it's not really the place to cultivate, like, for trollers anyway, because, like, the chat is so slow. Everybody is in their own conversation with other people. It's like, it's hard to get the rise that you want from people who want to incite, like, you know, like, bothersome chat and, like, just kind of be a general annoyance in those kind of chats.
I think the point you made about the numbers in the stream, I definitely think is right, because obviously for me, I see it through a different window, because obviously it's a piece of content on my channel. It generates revenue. That I have different, like, investments within the stream compared to you guys. But honestly, like, looking at what's happened so far, like, over the last 2 years, it's the thing that's always made me happiest about the stream is obviously the fact that I got to create this community, meet and become friends with you guys, and just see, like, you know, for a large majority of the time, there's genuinely just a good environment in the stream, and that I've managed to facilitate something like that. And when it comes to, like, numbers, of course, you know, for me, if I look at it objectively, I'd love to have 10 times as many people watching the stream at the same time.
Maybe
but honestly,
exactly 1,000.
Yeah, I mean,
we need that magic 1,000. Come on,
just one time. We just need to peek over it one time and then come back to, like, 100.
Yeah. Burke promised us if he gets to 1,000, he'll fly us all out to London.
Yeah, we'll all have a big, massive mod meet.
Yeah, so that's what I've told the moderators. So if you want to help make that happen, then But yeah, I mean, just to round off what I was saying with that, like I said, I mean, for me, like Selena said, I like the size of the stream as it is now. Like it's a good number of people in there, and I think the chat is active enough, and it's a slow enough pace that people can. Because if it was like literally 1,000 people in there right now, I think you guys would just get burnt out, and that you wouldn't enjoy it as much.
It would be really hard to mod like that amount of people. It'd be terrible.
I don't know how people mod it for other chats in general. I'm just like the chat goes by so fast. What are you even filtering for?
Yeah. And like there's a very fine line, even in our chat, where it's like the level of good conversation, because like sometimes it's just completely dead. But then other times you have nights like last night, like May 30th. Which everything just started happening so fast. Everyone was in there and popping off. And it was so hard to keep up. Like, in a good way. But it was really hard. Like, everyone was talking. It got crazy.
Because it's very slow 1 second. It's very slow 1 second, so I'm like, okay, I can take my eyes off this, I can go do something else, and then suddenly I glance back at it, because I have it at the corner of my computer screen, and then suddenly it's like, oh, where did the conversation go?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because Josh, as you guys are actually kind of modding it around the same time I do nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like 8, 9, 10 o'clock for you. Is this like 9 or 10 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually I'm getting home at around like 10:30, 11:30, like Central Time, my time.
I mean, we used to, like in Discord, we used to call this hour in the chat the witch. Like I called it the witching hour because it was when I was the most active, and it was kind of when the chat was a little dead. It was like hit or miss. There were some strange characters coming into chat, and I was just like, "Ooh, I like you feel like trouble," but there's no one else online, so we'll see how this goes. But like recently, it's been really active.
Yeah, and this is the first time that this like hour, this time slot has ever been active consistently.
Yeah. Before it was when Arrow, Dream, Colby, Crystal, the morning
Jermaine,
crew. Because it's morning for me, Jermaine, exactly. Yeah. It was the morning crew for me, so I missed. I really miss those guys actually.
Those people actually would like come in a little bit later than that. Like true. It would be right when I would be going to bed. Like you guys would come on. And so it would kind of be like a handoff where I'd go to bed and then you'd come on.
Yeah.
Like our schedules worked out pretty well, like all things considered.
Yeah, I think time zones was one of the things that Burke was looking
basically
at when choosing moderators actually.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the most difficult things. Is obviously once I started, again, you don't know where people are from. So I'm just basing it on who seems like just generally like someone I can add to the group. But then obviously once we added people in, you start to find out where people are from, what time zones they're working with, and you start to see there's holes in there that like you have hours on end where no one's on to moderate, and then you have to kind of try and fill in those gaps and stuff. So I mean, we've done our best, but it's difficult to really just have mod coverage every single minute of chat in the day, because it's just literally it's 24/7. 2 years. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember asking you to add Dream Squeeze as a mod.
Yes.
Because of her time slot, because she has a really particular time slot, which no one was covering. Yeah,
it's true.
That's so true.
Dream is an MVP for that.
Yeah, I never see Dream. And then one time I pointed out, I was like, hey, Dream, like I finally caught her. It's like, I never see you. And then somebody else was like, well, she's on here actually a lot often, and I see her. And it's like, well, our time slots just don't link up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was active more before, but then she started to get into more of like her own streaming kind of stuff as well. But she pops in.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
And it's a shame she couldn't be in this one. So like for anyone listening, wondering why Dream couldn't be in this one, of course, I think I calculated we're separated by like 14 hours of time. So from the East Coast, the West Coast of the US all the way to Art in Vietnam. So finding like a singular 2-3 hour slot for every single person to join in was just really difficult. And obviously Dream was one of the people that her time slot just really clashed with everyone else's, and we couldn't make it work. But hopefully in like future, if we do stuff like this in the future, I'll try and get her in on it as well, because she's just really fun to talk to.
Are we still going to try and add some of her answers to
I will.
Chat?
I will. I mean, in case I do, if you've been listening and thinking that Dream was here, then she actually wasn't when I spliced in some of her responses.
You're shattered.
She has been here the whole time.
Pull the sneaky on you.
We have to. Okay, well then, I guess if she could be here, we have to add a couple of sound bites of reacting to her possible answers, right?
just ask Dream to say a couple of random. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Dream, you're hilarious. Stop it with that nonsense.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all, Dream. That's complete horseshit.
I see your point, but I disagree, Dream.
Yes, I totally understand what you are saying right there.
So while we're on the topic, also other moderators that couldn't make it, Tanya couldn't make it. She had a family thing that she had to attend, so Tanya couldn't be here. And also Erin, from Small Erin, as we know her. She couldn't make it either. Yeah, she wanted to be in as well, but she couldn't. So we were missing 3 moderators from the initial recording. But hopefully in the future, if we do stuff like this again, we'll be able to hopefully get them in.
When we have the mod meetup, when you all help get us to that 1,000 concurrent views.
I just won't invite those guys because they didn't make the Modcast as punishment.
When we all meet up, we can have a proper conversation and we'll just have one mic.
Oh, so much easier.
God, yeah, when we're all sitting in the same room.
But I think it turned out pretty well in the end. I mean, it took a while for us to all get online and all get connected.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. Holy crap.
It's not your fault, don't worry.
I have no idea what happened.
The Wi-Fi gods were against you.
Yeah, it's like it's fine now, and you were fine in all the tests, but you just had this random like half an hour where just nothing was working.
Yeah, all of a sudden my my headphones just stopped working, and it wouldn't recognize that there was audio or audio coming in or out of my headphones, and I was like, literally why? This is the only moment I need you to work.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to thinking about what to do for the 2nd year anniversary, the word like Modcast had been thrown around for a long time, and it's something that I had on my mind for quite a while. But obviously, I just kept thinking about how on earth could we time it? Could it technically work? And obviously, having done like the first one, it has been like very difficult to try and organize it all and get it working technically. But I'm glad that we managed to do this much of it. I'm pretty sure it turned out to be like a pretty good thing for the community to listen to anyway. So, yeah, I mean, thank you everyone for joining. Really appreciate it. Had a great time.
Well, thank you for organising it, Ben.
Thank you for organising it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for having us all.
This was amazing.
You'll have your editing cut out for you, though, with all of this nonsense.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, sorry for making your life really hard with all the editing. Like, I know I've been...
But you give us double standard rules to adhere to on the stream, so I think we're even.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So thank you all for joining me. I'll catch you guys later. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. I'll catch you all in the Discord.
Bye.
Take care.
Table signing off.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Bye.